Hi there, Rabbi Rafi Cantor, coming to you with another of my Parshah videos. This week's double portion is Matot Maasei. But before I turn to it, I wanted to share with you a beautiful piece written by my colleague, Rabbi David Wolpe. It's entitled This I Believe, and I wanted to share it with you as a lead-in to my remarks on the portion. You can combat the anti-Zionist and anti-Semitic elements in Black Lives Matter and still fight side by side with the black community against racism. You can be a staunch Republican and still believe that most Democrats are neither foolish nor un-American. You can be a staunch Democrat and still believe that most Republicans are neither cruel nor narrow. You can be a devout atheist and still be convinced that religious people can be both informed and honest. You can be a devout believer and still be convinced that atheists can be both moral and deep. You can be an Orthodox Jew and think that liberal Judaism is born of considerations that are both principled and important. You can be a liberal Jew and think that Orthodox Judaism is neither simplistic nor rigid. You can be a leftist on Israel and believe that the right is motivated by principle, not prejudice or lack of compassion. You can be a rightist on Israel and believe the left is motivated by decency, not recklessness or ignorance. I have strong beliefs concerning all these controversies, but I do not assume that those who oppose me are therefore bad, cruel, or less thoughtful than myself. I invite you to join those who try to judge issues, not character. God is bigger than our partisanship. Sometimes we should be too. I think Rabbi Wolpe's words really represent a challenge to each one of us, something to aspire to in these times of great divisiveness. So I hope you'll take his words to heart. Now on to the portion. Torah portion, as I mentioned, is a double portion, Matot Maasei. And as I mentioned in in one of my earlier videos, the book of Bamidbar, Numbers, is a bit chaotic. You have mixed materials. You can have a story with juxtaposed with laws and legal issues. It moves from topic to topic very quickly. And sometimes it's hard to see any connection between the material. But again, this week I saw a wonderful connection between the beginning of the first portion, Matot, and the end of the second portion, Maasei. Beginning of Matot deals with a woman making a vow, or a man making a vow, and the importance of verbal commitments. And that's the topic there. You go to the end of Maasei, you have this wonderful story of the daughters of Slavchad. Daughters of Slavchad come to Moses. There is no male in the family to inherit when their father died, and they wanted to inherit from their father. They knew that they would be poverty stricken without access to that inheritance, that it would go to other male members of the family. So they approach Moses and seek justice. And Moses consults with God, and in fact, God says they are right and they are entitled to inherit. These stories are wonderfully juxtaposed. By the way, in the beginning of Matot, we are dealing with, there's an aspect that deals with women there too. Women who make a vow, and can the father annul the vow, or the husband annul the vow. But in any case, the material deals with a woman's perspective, dealing with a woman in the beginning, and then we go to the daughters of Slavchad, and it's again about women. But I see a deeper connection, a deeper message. What are we talking about at the beginning of Matot? We're talking about vows. Vows are verbal commitments, right? It's using a speech to make a commitment to whom? To God. And by the way, we should take seriously any commitment we make to another person, verbally, a promise, and certainly we need to make sure we follow through on our commitments to God, our promises to God, and that's the beginning. We're Matot. Then we come to the daughters of Slochad, and we have a verbal commitment there. We have the daughters speaking to Moses. They are committed to justice. They know their cause is right. And Moses, by going to God and being told that they are in fact in the right, has to recognize their commitment to justice is to be honored and is just, and that they need to be able to inherit their father. So the idea of verbal commitment at the beginning of Matot and the verbal commitment to justice by the daughters of Slovchad seemed to me a nice connection between the beginning of the first portion and the end of the second portion. So I hope we will all take seriously the commitments we make to each other and also the commitments we make to God. When we come to the end of the Torah reading of any book in the service, we conclude with the words Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek. Be strong and be strong and be strengthened. Be strong, and be strengthened. In this time of coronavirus, we can never have enough encouragement to be strong, and God willing, we will be strengthened. Have a joy-filled Sabbath, a good Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos.